Oh man.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fight Rant Live introductory episode. I'm here with Franklin, who is waving his hands in the air, and Francisco. What's up, gentlemen? How y'all doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
I'm good. What's up, everyone? This is Franklin, aka Poteluz.
This is Francisco, well, that's my Spanish name is Francisco. My white name is Frank. My nickname is GM. Whatever you call me, it's fine with me.
He said my white name is Frank. I'm Lee, just Lee. That's it. I don't have any AKAs or nothing. Just Lee. Simple.
It's a confused white boy with an Asian name.
Anyway, we started a website, fightrant.com. We're going to put all our videos up there. They'll also be obviously on YouTube because that's where we're going to be broadcasting from. We do rankings for weight classes, pound for pound on the website as well. We're going to add more content all the time. So that's where we're starting at. This is just an introductory. So hello, everybody. And I don't know, you guys want to talk about a little bit of something?
You guys might have seen some of the tweets already heading out by when we started about a few weeks ago. We started putting out some tweets, and we have an Instagram account we're working on, and some Facebook as well as the website. So you guys will soon be able to get a lot of details and a lot of information as soon as everything becomes available.
Yeah, all of our social media sites are listed on the top there. You can see them all on the top of the broadcast. So you can follow us there if you want. We like doing a lot of live tweets on events and stuff like that for combat sports, whether it's wrestling or boxing or MMA. We tweet out on most of it.
Let's give them a little breakdown of what this is, though. This will be also a podcast of friends that we've known each other since high school, and we all have a passion for combat sports, and we're always talking about it. And this will be pretty much a podcast from fans to fans also. And we'll be hitting a lot of topics. MMA, boxing, wrestling, kickboxing, Muay Thai. We'll be touching a lot of bases also in regards to all those combat sports there.
Yeah, and our website as well as our podcast is going to be very unapologetic. We're very passionate of the sports. So yeah. When it comes to some of the things like our pound for pound or who we think is not worthy of being in the list, that's because we don't believe that they are worthy of being there at the moment, or they're not worthy of being mentioned because the particular weight class is not doing very well.
Yeah, you know what? Let's touch on that a little bit in the boxing scene, just so that people could get a little bit of an idea. But like, if you look on our website right now, there's a bunch of weight classes that are missing, and that is because we don't feel that weight class is even worthy of being followed. They just don't have any fighters that are interesting or particularly all that good at the moment, and if there are good fighters, they're not fighting anybody. They just keep on running circles around each other or not doing what they're supposed to do, and we don't generally agree with that.
Yeah, I think the lowest weight class we have is the flyweight in there. So flyweight and up is pretty much what we're concentrating on at the moment. There's like Lee said before, there's a lot of other classes below that, or even some classes in between that just there's really no need to talk about them because there's nothing going on. There might be one or two fighters in that division or in that weight class, but again, they're fighting. I don't like to call them nobodies like Franklin does, but they're not fighting. They're not fighting talented fighters at the time.
Tomato cans.
Cans or whatever that is.
That's one of Franklin's favorite phrases. Tomato cans.
You're probably gonna see us go at it very hard at times. We're very passionate about this. I love boxing. That's what I used to love. That's all I used to watch before. I don't like the state of it right now. I still somewhat follow it. GI is the one that follows it the most, but we all followed it a lot, and you'll see us going at it in regards to all of this here.
And we do appreciate all the comments and anything you guys have to add. We are building this along with the community, so the more you guys can give out, the more we can build on. So
yeah, we appreciate comments and everything, questions that you might want to ask us, you might want us to discuss, or you want to discuss with us, and things like that also.
All right. With that said, who wants to talk about Roy Jones Jr. fighting somebody for $100,000? Just some random fan. I think that's ludicrous. It's ridiculous.
Like, don't do it, Roy. You're tarnishing your legacy. You don't have to be doing this. You should have been past 8 years or so. That's it. We know what you're about. We saw what you were. There's no reason for him to be doing any of this here. He's gonna keep going on. He's gonna get hurt. Look at the last knockout he just had. It's for what? For what? He's fighting he's fighting people that wouldn't have lasted 2 or 3 rounds with him before. He's tarnishing his legacy for no reason.
Not only that, man. It's the fact that Roy was so great in his prime. Like he was definitely one of the greatest ever in his prime. Like he was amazing. But aside from that, you're bringing somebody into the ring that is not a professional boxer. And not only could Roy get hurt, but what about the person you're bringing in the ring that you just pick? You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. It's just insane.
It's crazy from every side. It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense.
This feels to me like I'm gonna be watching Rocky Balboa, where he's like retired and he's thinking, hey, I can do a little bit more of this, and then all of a sudden, hey, now I'm a vegetarian now, not by choice. I don't agree with it. I think it's kind of, I wouldn't even say it's cool because he's not at that age where he can actually do that and actually have fun with it. If this feels more like something out of addiction or out of financial reasons, I don't know.
It does. It's sad. It's like kind of like a circus sideshow or some freak show or something. What is he doing? It just makes no sense to me.
Man, Roy was too great of a fighter to be in this sideshow type business right now. It's crazy. It really is. It's insane.
And you know what's crazier? When you go back, there's YouTube. You go back and watch all of his fights. The level this man was at, he would knock you out going backwards.
Yeah,
it's insane how good he was. There's no reason to do any of this. It's crazy. That's when it really hits you, when you go back and watch all the old footage, all of his old fights. This man was insane. He can knock you off either one of his hands, going backwards. You can barely ever touch him. I don't know, man.
I mean, in another, if you think about it more, now that I'm actually thinking about it, I would blame this all on Andre Ward because he's taking his job as a commentator.
What?
Get the hell out, man. Get the hell out of here.
The guy can't be boxing right now, but what's he doing? He's trying to take poor Roy Jones' job as a commentator. And
you know what's funny? You know what's funny? Andre Ward wouldn't have had to take that job if Triple G would have signed the dotted line and fought him already. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever. 3 years ago. It's like we're talking about Goku and it's an old anime.
Even before his contract disputes, he wanted to fight Triple G, and Triple G wanted no part of that. Come on now.
Who's he fighting now?
We all know the truth.
Who is he fighting now? Is this gonna happen on BT again, or is this gonna be down at the block? Yeah.
Who's Triple G fighting? Who has he fought for the past 4 or 5 years?
Ranked fighters.
Same caliber of fighters that Ward is facing right now, coming off a layoff of 2 years. Same caliber. Come on, man.
No. Let's not go back to that one guy that he came back to fight as a warm up. That he couldn't even take him out. They had to stop the fight because they were like, "Oh, this guy's he's gonna make the whole 12 rounds. Let's stop this and make Ward look good." Go back and look at his that guy's rating and his record. He's lost to every super middleweight Yeah, he's lost to every super middleweight pretty much that Ward has fought, if not even people that Ward has beaten. And they've beaten that guy pretty easily, and Ward couldn't get rid of him. He had to stop the fight.
Ward wanted to get those rounds in also. He had to. I mean, he was coming off for almost 2 years layoff.
Yeah.
Come on now. Come on. Listen, Ward.
No, you're right. That high quality fighter that he's fighting next, that is true. He is ready to. He's ready.
Ward box circles around Triple G, and his own camp knows it. That's the reason why his camp keeps avoiding him. What do you think?
Has to worry about Triple G right now. Right now, he's got to go to what's that store called? Is it where they sell the caskets now? It's not BJ's. It's the Costco. He's got to go to Costco and figure out what's the size of his casket when he faces Kovalev. Kovalev is going to crush him.
I don't think Kovalev's going to win at all. I don't. I mean, Kovalev couldn't dispose of a 50-year-old Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins would have been younger, and he would have won.
You can't compare Andre Ward to Bernard Hopkins.
Yes, I can. Andre Ward he's a technician, bro. He's a technician, man. You're not gonna come. Don't come in with that, bro. He has great.
He's nowhere near Bernard Hopkins.
Great boxing IQ. Let's see when it happens. I wouldn't be surprised if he just outboxes Kovalev.
Okay, so Andre Ward in his prime versus Bernard Hopkins in his prime. You think Andre Ward would have beaten Bernard Hopkins?
In their prime?
Not in the prime. Hopkins in his prime beats Ward.
Yeah.
Okay, now
were they equal?
Ward will beat Hopkins.
If we measure them, were they equal in their primes?
Almost. Bernard Hopkins he's better, not by that much though. I mean, Ward is good, man. Ward is good. I guess he doesn't have that knockout power that attracts more fans and whatnot. But he's a technician in the ring. He's nasty. I could just see him. Let's say this against Triple G. I don't even see that being a fight. Seriously, I just see him winning. It'll be kind of like if it goes all 12 rounds, I see it kind of like a 8-9 rounds to Ward and 3 rounds to 3 or 4 rounds to Triple G. That's how I see it. And I believe Triple G knows this himself, and his camp knows this himself. Knows that themselves. So if this ever happens, Kovalev gives him a harder fight. Kovalev gives him a harder fight, but he still loses. I just think Ward is at another level in regards to boxing.
Yeah, and another level at the table. He's great at the table. That's the only level that he's at right now. He's not at any level. I don't understand the level you're talking about.
Everything I needed
years ago when he was in the Super 6, he was at a level. Now it's been how many? 3.5 years or 3 years?
About 3.5 years.
Let's make it shorter. 2.5 years.
Listen, all I needed to know about Kovalev, I saw when he fought Bernard Hopkins. All I needed to know. And I saw he couldn't finish a 50-year-old Bernard Hopkins. I saw that Bernard Hopkins, just his skill, even though he didn't have the stamina to get his output out there and anything like that, I could just see that it wasn't. He doesn't have the skills to like go up against someone like Ward, a young Ward. I mean, if it would have been Bernard Hopkins, even 10 years back, 9 years back, I think B Hop would have beat Kovalev.
I don't think Ward is a young Ward anymore. He's got those, arthritis, kinetic legs. It looks like for the past 2.5 years he was doing dance central too much.
Come on, with the Ward hate. Oh.
Why would he back out of a fight because he has a swollen knee? You know how many fighters have swollen knees and they go and fight?
Well, I mean, I could say the same thing about some of the guys you love. I mean, why would Triple G not face one legitimate guy yet? And he's like 34 years old. Like, come on.
That's not a comparison. You're talking about
Triple G. Comparison.
You're talking about Triple G
because of a supposed knee injury. I don't know. I suppose he had an injury to his knees. Supposedly. Ooh. Allegedly. Ward, that's what you're talking about. He had backed out of a fight because of his knee, right?
Yeah, he said he has swollen knees and he.
What happened there?
Oh no, I guess.
Yo, G, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, we lost his camera for a minute. That's what it was.
That's Andre Ward attacking me. Andre, take it easy. Take it easy, okay? It's not my fault that you backed out of a fight because he has swollen knee, and now all of a sudden, your knees are fine. allegedly you said that your knees were swollen and they weren't that bad. You could have finished fighting allegedly, because those are reports. But so many fighters have swollen knees. They go in. They go into the back, put some ice on it, trying to work it out a little bit, get some massage going, get in there. You're apparently the best, according to Franklin here. You're the best fitter.
Yeah, but you're
The best
nitpicking.
fighter doesn't back out because he has swollen knees.
You're asking me why I was bringing that up about Triple G, because I mean you're nitpicking Ward on his second comeback fight after almost 2 years because he had a bad knee. You're nitpicking on that. Why can't I nitpick on the fact that Triple G hasn't fought anybody his whole career and he's going into his mid-30s, about 34 now or something like that?
Triple G has beaten everybody that's ranked in the middleweight division. Triple G has fought.
I don't want it. Ain't nobody want to hear that, man. Come on now.
But it's the truth.
Hold on. Listen. All right. Bottom line on this, Francisco's right to an extent. Triple G has fought everybody in the middleweight division that he could get his hands on within the top 10. That doesn't mean that everybody in the middleweight division that he got his hands on is any good just because they're in the top 10. The problem is that Triple G has been called out by Ward, called out by Hopkins, called out even by the little man, Lara. And, And those are guys that if he fought them, he would instantly be considered like upping himself to a level of stardom that he doesn't have at this time. If he fought those guys and beat them, but instead he wants to keep running around chasing guys like Andy Lee and all these. Who cares? Who's Andy Lee? Who are these guys that he's fighting? They're not, on the same, even remotely close to the same level, even just on the name recognition. I know Hopkins is 50 years old now, but still, name recognition alone. You beat Hopkins, you put yourself up on another plateau where people know who you are. And he avoids that fight for no reason. There's no reason to avoid it. It's a 50-year-old man. Just fight him. He's asking you to fight him. Fight him.
And then on top of that, he calls out smaller guys all the time.
But Canelo's not a smaller guy.
No, I was talking about he was calling out Pacquiao. He was calling out Floyd Mayweather. So for certain guys,
about Floyd Mayweather and about Pacquiao, anybody will call out Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao. It's just a no-brainer. If you call out Floyd Mayweather or Pacquiao, then you must not want the money. That's
okay. Then what about this? Canelo's a legitimate or turning into a legitimate superstar. And he says he'll fight Triple G. Why is Triple G making this difficult? He needs Canelo. Canelo does not need Triple G at all. Triple G's last pay-per-view did reportedly really about 97,000 buys. Okay, you have Canelo this last pay-per-view against Cotto, even though it was two superstars going against each other, did 900,000 buys. Why is Canelo telling him, okay, I'll fight you, no problem at all. Let's meet at the 155, 156 or whatnot. And Triple G's, no. It's 160 or nothing. You're not the A side here. You're the B side.
But you're getting into the business part of it, which has nothing to do with the fact that they're gonna end up fighting either way because it's mandatory. Now, if it's mandatory, he has all the right to work out a deal. If you can get 60-40 out of somebody and they give in and they give the 60-40 or the 70-30, you would do it. But it's mandatory. They're gonna fight someone first, and then they have to fight each other. Look
what I'm talking about. I agree with you on that. There, okay, I understand that, but it's not when you say mandatory. Nobody really cares about all these. But there's so many belts in boxing. You know what Canelo will say? I don't give a damn. I'm gonna forfeit it. I ain't facing him. Then he doesn't want to face me 155, 156. I'm forfeiting it. Take it. I'll go back to my.
That's what I would do. I mean, look, Triple G needs to beat somebody with a name. Point blank, period. Canelo is the closest guy he can fight right now. He's the guy that basically he should be fighting right now since he just won the middleweight title and supposedly Triple G wants all the middleweight belts. So if he wants them all, then fight the man. Who cares if it's 155, 156? Like, all right, Canelo wants 155, Triple G wants 160. Anything in between is all in middleweight division. So fight at 156 and a half. Do something like that, 157. Come to an agreement, make the fight happen, just make it happen. Because if Triple G sits there and says, I want 160, Canelo's going to take that belt, throw it in the garbage, and tell him, go get yourself another paper belt because you haven't beat a single champion yet and you're still not going to beat one.
I don't think Canelo's going to do that. And the reason why I say that is because there's a certain limit to where a real fighter will go when it comes to doing business versus who they really want to be in the whole boxing thing. Okay, there's people that want to be the best ever, and there's people that want to make the most money ever. Okay, now Canelo he's not the type of person that he's going to be going more after the money than going after the legacy. If he can beat Triple G, no matter what you guys say, Triple G is the top guy right now. He's
the
his
top
record
guy.
is,
Where is he the top guy?
In the middleweight division. His record is ridiculous. He's got everything that made for a good fight against Canelo. And if Canelo takes him out and destroys him, then Triple G looks ridiculous. Canelo proves that he's the best. And if Triple G wins and beats Canelo, then Triple G is gonna look like he's the man. And he beat him fair and square. Now, when we're talking about Andre Ward fighting, what is his name? I can't even remember Paul Smith. Paul Smith, he lost to let's see, he lost to DeGale. Tony Dotson. Was it Tony Dotson? No, Tony Dotson, he won against Tony Dotson. He lost to Arthur Abraham twice in a row. And then he fought Andre Ward, and he lost, but it wasn't something like, oh, it was so amazing what Andre Ward just did. And Andre, again, you're messing with my camera. Leave my camera alone.
All right. Enough about Triple G.
He's fighting next.
Listen. Enough about that. The people got to see a little bit of what happens here. This discussion, I'm sure, will happen again. I say we pick it back up after Triple G and Andre Ward have their fights, and Canelo, because they're all having these mandatory fights. Let them have their fights, and then we'll pick that up again.
And we'll get to talk about Andre Ward and his fabulous fight on March 26th against the unstoppable Sullivan Barrera with a great record, a disastrous and dangerous record of 17-0. Yeah, we'll get to talk about that too.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good record, man. He's beat up he beat Jeff Lacey.
That's one guy. It's one guy.
No, but seriously, I think that for his first fight at light heavyweight, it's not a terrible choice. Like, he's a young, up-and-coming guy. I mean, we watched him fight a little bit, and Ward should definitely beat him. But for your first fight at the weight class, it's okay. You know, it's better than what was that guy's name? Willie Monroe Jr. It's better than that.
Willie Monroe Jr. today, but he's still out there talking trash about this guy.
I had to look on the internet, right, to find.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a picture of Willie Monroe Jr. Like, when I first heard his name, I was like, "Who is this?" And I'm looking. The box rack didn't even have a picture of the guy.
No, you know what? Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's touch base on this here. These fights are coming fights here, championship fights, MMA. I want to hear your guys' input on this and your picks. McGregor versus Dos Anjos. I'm gonna give you my picks. I'm gonna tell you what I think is gonna happen, and I'm gonna switch it over to Gia and then Lee. McGregor versus Dos Anjos. I'm calling it a knockout for McGregor second round within the first 2-3 minutes of the second round. I think he frustrates. I think he frustrates Dos Anjos. Dos Anjos not effective like he thinks he's gonna be. He stuffs his takedown, and he's stronger at this weight. You remember in his weigh-ins, McGregor looked like a cancer patient. I mean, he's gonna be closer to his real weight here. He's gonna be stronger, faster, more stamina. I see him knocking him out within the second round, within 2 to 3 minutes in.
That's doubtful though. I mean, you gain some weight, you can get slower.
No, not really. I don't think so. Not really. If he hits 170, because he's talking about if he wins this match here, he's even talking about going for the belt at 170. So maybe at 170, I think he'll get slower. I think we'll see him faster and stronger here since he's not depleting himself and losing all that weight. All right, let me go to my second pick. This is just for the championship fights. I'm not going to touch base on any of the other fights there. But Holly versus Misha, I don't see this being an easy fight for Holly at all. I see Misha being a lot more patient, picking her shots great, and her takedown isn't judo based. Her takedowns are wrestling based. That's her base. So I can see her getting Holly down. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. I don't think it's going to go the way that people are saying it's going to go. Oh, like Holly's going to destroy her or whatnot. I would not be surprised if Misha beats her. And I'm going to call that's going to be my pick. An upset, 4th round, Misha wins. And I would actually say by submission. She gets her down to the ground. They're tired, and she gets her down for wrestling, catches her with a guillotine or something like that. Those are my picks. Let's see. What do you think, Gia?
It's tough for me to go up against or pick anybody else but Misha, because I love Misha and I think she's one of the top fighters and one of my favorite fighters, apart from Rocky and Paige Van Zandt.
When you say Rocky, let them know who Rocky is. Raquel Pennington.
Pennington, yes, Raquel Pennington. That's one of my
Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, that's my little Rocky Balboa of the UFC.
Well, that's the one. That's the one that many thought beat Holly.
Yeah, she did a great job against Holly, and it was very, very close.
She was getting the best of her in striking in the boxing department. She was getting the best of her.
I just think that maybe the way I see it in my mind is that Misha should have fought Ronda again, and we could have seen who would have won that last fight. But because they wanted to get Holly in there and have Holly face Ronda, they snubbed Misha, which I didn't think was fair and was cool at all. And this ended up happening to Ronda. And now, hopefully, God willing, Misha takes care of business and wins the match. And then we get to see Ronda versus Misha. And I'm very inclined to think that can happen very easily, because Misha, she's no chump and she's very skilled in all areas of MMA. So, and as far as Dos Anjos against McGregor, I love McGregor because he's hilarious. He's the WWE superstar that's stuck in the UFC world. But I don't know how far he can take this. Because you can only go so far as by listening to somebody's mouth compared to how they perform. I think he performs great, but I also think that you going up weight after weight after weight, and as quickly as he thinks he's trying to go, I don't see how he can defeat Dos Anjos in the second round, like Franklin is saying. He might be able to beat him, but I'm doubtful. So I'm on the fence in that one. I probably think it's going to go to the to decision, and whoever wins it gets it there.
Who do you think wins?
I'm not sure. I'm stuck on that one. I would say Dos Anjos. I'll go with Dos Anjos. Yeah. So
you know, I was actually holding back though. Like I have a feeling that he's gonna lay him out within the first round. I wouldn't say the first minute or anything like that, but I have a feeling he's gonna lay Dos Anjos out within the first round. But I was trying to be conservative, so I was like, you know what? Second round, within the second or third minute into the second round. But I have a feeling it might be the first.
What I'm thinking that can happen. What I'm thinking that can happen is that McGregor might go in there cocky like always and do his thing and try to taunt and try to knock him out. And he might get a taste of something he doesn't like, and then he's gonna try a different approach and try to get this fight a different way, maybe using his kicks, which I haven't seen him do in a long time. I remember him knocking somebody out with a good kick once, and that hasn't happened in a while. But he might go in that direction, and then that's what will take it over to the 5th round, and the Sanjos might be able to win this. So I don't know.
Let's see it. And it's a tough one. I mean, Dos Anjos supposedly walks around at like 200 pounds, 190. That's his. Even though McGregor's slightly taller and has slightly more reach, Dos Anjos' frame is just heavier. He's naturally a bigger dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, it can very easily go the way you're saying. It's a hard fight. We saw what he did to Pettis. We saw what he just did to Cowboy Cerrone. Annihilated him within the first round. He's getting technical too. He's with that camp now. I believe he trains with Verdum, Fabrizio Verdum. I'm forgetting the name of the gym. I know it's in California, but his striking has gotten a lot more technical. He ain't no joke. I'm not gonna. What you're saying could very easily happen, but I'm still rolling with McGregor. What about you, Lee? Let's hear your predictions, man. Let's hear your predictions.
All right. I'm going to be the crazy one here. All right. My prediction is that Miesha Tate handily beats Holly Holm.
Wow.
I don't even think Holly Holm is like, all right. Holly Holm beat Ronda Rousey in what looked like an easy fight by the way she made it look. But if you look at all her other fights, she fights the same all the time. It's exactly the same combinations, exactly the same movements, everything is the same. Ronda just fought that fight wrong. She just kept chasing her, and that's you know, I'm not saying that she's not skilled. She's got great skill as a striker. But that's really her only skill. Like, she's not a fully rounded MMA fighter. Like, I mean, I guess it's hard. I can't really say that 100% because we've never seen her on the ground. But clearly she doesn't want to go there.
Yeah.
She does everything possible to make sure she's not put on the ground, and there's got to be a reason for it. And even when Ronda did get her on the ground for a second, she looked like somebody that got their hand burnt on the stove. How fast she was just scrambling to get off the ground. She's like, no, I can't be here. I gotta get up. And she just like flipped herself up so fast. And Ronda was already stunned by that point. She took a lot of shots before she even got her on the ground, so she wasn't able to keep her there. But
yeah, Ronda's mistake was that she tried to outbox Holly, and then by the time she finally realized what was going on, she tried to go back to what she's comfortable with, and it was too late.
Yeah,
kind of like the same thing that I say about what can happen with McGregor against Dos Anjos. Same thing.
With Ronda, though, I think it was a lot of things. I think it was a completely wrong game plan. I don't think she was dedicated to that fight. I mean, I think she's doing way too much. To me, I think she's just doing way too. How you doing 2 movies? You're doing talk show hosts. You're writing a book. You're doing a book tour. Just so many. Where are you getting your training in? I don't even. How are you gasping for air 2-3 minutes into the first round? I've never seen her like that ever before, ever.
Yeah, but she was just chasing nonstop, man. She just kept chasing and getting hit, and the game plan was just terrible. But aside from that, I look at Miesha, and you look at how Miesha fights, and I think that she's so smart, and she looks at everything, and she comes in. When you look at her different fights against different opponents, she's got so many different ways that she's come into a fight. She's comfortable on the ground. She's comfortable grappling. She's comfortable striking. She's gonna put together a game plan that where I feel like Holly's just only comfortable doing one thing, which is circling and striking. She's not comfortable anywhere else. She's comfortable at a perfect kickboxing spacing from somebody, and just throwing combinations while she's moving backwards or laterally. She doesn't like to really move forward and strike. She hardly ever does it. She seems to be more about counter striking than taking the initiative on landing first. And I don't see Misha falling into that like game plan that way. I think she'll just fight a really smart fight, and I think she's gonna give Holly a lot of trouble. And I think that she'll get Holly out of there by the third round, somewhere in the third round. She's gonna finish her. I don't think she'll beat her striking.
Bold prediction.
Yeah, man. I think she's gonna get her to the ground and either finish her with a submission or ground and pound. She'll be on top in full mount and pound her out, or she'll get her in a submission. She won't beat her striking standing up. That's not gonna happen. What it is? That's not how you can't fight her that way.
I feel Holly's she's naturally bigger though. I think Holly really. Just naturally, body-wise, she would actually, if the UFC had a 145 weight class, she'd be at the one. I think that's the only thing that has me, because I think she's actually just physically stronger than Misha and Ronda. And she has her hips. She knows how to position her hips. She was completely prepared for the judo tosses. If you saw how she transitioned her hips, she was completely prepared for that. I mean, so I don't, that's, third round, ground and pound. I'm not.
I just said that that's a possibility if she gets on top. It's a submission or that. I'm just saying she's not going to beat her standing up. You're not going to stand toe to toe with Holly and whoop her on her feet if you're Misha Tate. I just can't see that.
I tell you what, if anybody fighting Holly, what they should do is work the hell out of those leg kicks, beat the shit out of those legs, because that's gonna slow her down, and that's gonna take her down. She's a tree. She's a huge tree. And when Ronda tried to grab her, what did she do? She didn't try to fight her over. She just picked her up, and that eliminated her. She's a big girl. It's true what Franklin's saying. She's like the Andre the Giant of the division.
And then her footwork. She does not stay still. She's forever running around. She's forever moving. I mean, if you chop her legs down, it's gonna cut down her moving around the ring and stuff like that. So it gives her a better chance. Only thing is that I've never seen like low kicks, like real good low kicks from Misha though.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't seen that either.
This is one of the few things
Misha does really good body work, and body work also works pretty well on a kickboxer like Holly. That can stop that too.
Holly covers a lot of distance though, man. She's freaking fast with that footwork. I rewatched the Ronda fight. And actually, when I rewatched it, she didn't do as bad as people think. Like, she actually caught Holly multiple times, but Holly was just, oh my God, just her spacing, that long space where she could catch it with her fist or with kicks, and then one of the shots that rattled her, everybody thought it was an actual like left hook, and it was a left elbow, boom, and she has it all. That camp, training in and out with John Bones Jones, with Cowboy Cerrone, where freaking Carlos Condit. She has two mastermind coaches in MMA, which is Winklejohn, her coach since she was like 15 or 16. And then she has Greg Jackson, these freaking masterminds. And then she trains with monsters. And then Ronda, Edmund Taverdian, I mean, whatever. He's really a boxing coach. Who does she train with in there? I mean, I don't even think she gets pushed. So I think that's a big mistake, man, that she's not changing her camp. Actually, now that we're talking about that Ronda's not changing her camp, she should go for like American Top Team, Black Zillions.
But wait a second though. I didn't even tell you who's gonna win against McGregor and Dos Anjos.
Oh my bad. Go ahead. My bad.
You thought I was crazy with my Misha Tate prediction.
I gotta
Conor
hear
McGregor KOs Rafael Dos Anjos in 45 seconds or less.
You know what? I'm not gonna call it crazy because that's my feeling. Like he's gonna knock him out in the first round. 45 seconds in is kind of crazy, but I'm with you on that. Heck with that. I was being conservative, and I said second round, 2 to 3 minutes in. But what you're saying,
Dos Anjos is a good fighter. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like at this moment in time, Conor talks a lot, but he backs it up, and I really feel like the weight class that he's moving to right now is where he should be. He's just cutting too much weight. He'll actually be at exactly the right spot, and he'll be even better. If he goes up to 170, though, I don't know. That might be a little bit of a stretch. I have to see it, but right where he's at is going to be perfect for him.
He's super talented, but what he has the most that's really in his favor is it's so hard to beat somebody with so much confidence. It's like Napoleon. Napoleon had that confidence in him that he was like, I'm just going to destroy everybody, and he did. And
I want to
that's
ask you guys, do you guys? I want to ask you guys this because I see this, and I've heard a couple of other commentators and analysts bring it up also, and I've been saying it for a while. Conor, when I see him fight, his stance, his movement, to me is very Bruce Lee-ish. You guys don't see that?
It's like mixing up Nick Diaz and Bruce Lee. Yeah, he does.
I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
A lot of. He reminds me a lot of Nick because he does all that. Smack you in the face, kind of taunting and talking all the trash and no respect. Hands on the floor. You're nothing. Like when Nick laid down in front of Anderson, that was the best thing that's ever happened in UFC.
That was good. That was good. He was laying in the floor, sticking his ass out like, I'm sleeping here. Oh, that was great.
Yeah. I do see that though, man. Like that style. I mean, nobody's Bruce Lee, but he's got a stance like him. When he throws that spinning back kick, sometimes I'm like, oh, he definitely studied it.
And he has that movement coach now. Also, he's all into movement now and all that. I don't know. I've just always seen that. I wanted to see what you guys thought about that.
It's probably that wide stance that he has that kind of gives you that Bruce Lee-ish thing.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. He's got a really wide stance when he's gonna throw his kicks, especially. So it kind of looks a little reminiscent of that.
Where are we getting close to wrapping it up already?
Yeah, I think we could wrap this one. Everybody got a little taste.
Let's end it with this really quick. The next Anthony Joshua fight. How fast do you guys see it? I call it second round knockout.
Yeah, I see it that fast too. It's Prince Martin. That's nothing for Joshua. He's gonna destroy him. I wasn't impressed with Prince on the last fight. He pretty much got a gift basket, and he didn't really know how to carry himself afterwards. He wasn't very, very polite. I like champions that are, they're kind of like McGregor, where they can talk trash and everything, but also you also got to carry yourself in a certain way. If something like that happens, where it's not something that you did. Like he said, like he quoted quote, my punch is so tough. I think I knocked his ass out from the punch. When you go to the replay, he didn't even touch him when he fell over.
He didn't even touch him.
So he loses all points with me. I don't like fighters like that. So yeah, Anthony Joshua is really going to destroy him. I would say the second round. I'll give him the second, maybe the third round, because he'll probably try to get up and try to hold the belt as much as he can. Yeah. But
what do you say? Do you say complete mollywhopping? I said
yeah. You guys are too nice, man. Anthony Joshua finishes him just as fast as Conor McGregor finishes Dos Anjos. Boom, we're out of here. That's it. 45 seconds, fights are over. Don't pay too much money, otherwise you're gonna be mad.
All right, guys. Well, you guys look out for us, and we'll be doing more podcasts to come. We still gotta get some kinks in, but we'll be getting them out there. And look out for all my Russians coming into the UFC and all my Russians in the boxing league. Those are all my boys: Lomachenko, Kovalev, Crusher, Triple G, everybody. All right, Gradovich, we're all there. All right, guys. So
follow us. Share with your friends that are combat sports fans, and just follow us on Twitter and subscribe to us on YouTube. And yeah, hopefully we'll bring some surprises also, and just send feedback and questions that you want us to discuss and look into, and anything like that. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. We will wrap this up, and we will be back. So we'll see y'all next time.
Boom!